Good afternoon. This is Terry from the Frugal Connection, and today I am going to make some banana nut muffins. And I just want to invite you along as I work through this recipe and give you an idea of how simple these are to make. My husband and I are officially on vacation this week, and tomorrow morning we're getting up bright and early to head out and go on an 8-mile hike. And so I know I don't want to get up in the morning and make anything. And the nice thing about these muffins is that you can freeze them, and I just pop them out of the freezer. You can either let them thaw on the counter, or you can pop them in the microwave and just microwave them for about 30 seconds to a minute. And they fill me up all the way until lunchtime. And they're made with a few simple ingredients. So I'm going to turn the camera onto the ingredients so you can see what I'm working with here, and we'll get started. Okay, so here we have our ingredients, and we are going to start with 2 ripe bananas. And again, it depends on the size of your bananas. If they're on the smallish side, you could actually use 3. I have 2.5 cups of chickpea flour, but you can substitute all-purpose flour if you prefer, whole wheat flour, whatever you want. Not everybody likes the taste of chickpea flour, and so, but that's what I'm using because I actually like it, and it's because it's made with chickpeas, it's high in protein, and it does fill me up more. I have 2 flax eggs here, and what that is basically is 2 tablespoons of flax meal mixed with 6 tablespoons of water. And then you just mix that all together in a bowl and just let it sit for a few minutes so it absorbs the water. I have 1/3 cup of maple syrup. I have a cup of unsweetened almond milk. You can use any plant-based milk you want. I have here a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then I'm going to use my homemade vanilla extract, and I'm going to use about, I don't know, a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons. I like vanilla, and it doesn't matter to me how much I put into it. So those are our ingredients. I'm going to now turn the camera around so I can get cooking for you. All right, so we're going to get started on this recipe. I have here a silicone baking muffin tin. It's not a tin. It's a silicone. I like the silicone because you can just pop the muffins right out. You don't need the paper. You don't need to do anything to this. You don't need to grease it. Nothing. It works great. So this is ready to go. And I'm going to do all this in my food processor, so this is really simple and easy. The only reason I have so many bowls and measuring cups out is because I'm doing it for a video. But normally it's, I just pop everything right into the food processor. And I also have my oven preheated to 400 degrees. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my bananas into the food processor. And again, you can, if you add an extra banana, it might change the amount that this recipe makes. But the nice thing about plant-based cooking is there's no right or wrong with it. And I did forget, one other thing I have, because these are banana nut muffins, is I am adding a 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts. So I can get some of my omega-3s that way. You do not need to add walnuts. If you have a nut allergy, just skip them. All right, so in here I'm putting the bananas. I'm going to put all my wet ingredients in here. Now I'm going to put 1/3 cup of maple syrup. And now these recipes, unless they're out of my new cookbook, which is simple and nutritious, but if they're recipes that I am working on that haven't been published yet, I will post those on my website under my blog. So if you go to my website, thefrugalconnection.com, and then click on the blog, you'll see all these recipes listed there. So I have my maple syrup. I have 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk that I'm going to add to this. I'm going to add my flax eggs. And I am going to add I think I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I did think today, as I was thinking about this recipe, that another variation that would be kind of yummy is to make banana peanut butter muffins. For years, my daughter has a severe nut allergy, peanuts especially. But peanuts are the ones that she doesn't even have to touch if she just, or doesn't have to eat. If she just touches something that has peanuts on it, she goes into anaphylactic shock. So we have not had nuts in our house for years and years and years. And now she's an adult and she does not live with us anymore. And, you know, if she comes to visit, we are nut free. Like, we don't have anything with peanuts. I don't make anything with nuts. It's not even around. But when she's not here, which is majority of the time, then it's kind of nice that I can go back to eating nuts again. But anyway, so my wet ingredients are in the food processor, and now I'm just going to give this a pulse to get it going. Just want to make sure you get that banana all. Okay, and now what I am going to do is I am going to transfer this into a mixing bowl, just because I think it's going to be easier with the chickpea flour. Now, what I want to do is just give it a taste at this point and to see if I need to adjust the sweetness. Because I only used a third of a cup of maple syrup. And I think the reason for that was I was going to add dates to it, and I forgot. So that's sweet. So that's good. All right, to my chickpea flour, I'm just going to go ahead and dump my baking powder and my cinnamon into this, because normally that's what I do. I mix the dry ingredients together. The very last thing that you're going to put into this is your chopped nuts. All right, so now I'm just going to add that in there and give it a stir. And again, if you do not like the taste of chickpea flour, because I'm avoiding like highly processed things, so I don't generally do all-purpose flour. I just know that when I eat anything with all-purpose flour, it tends to, it just messes with my blood sugar, so I don't. And I found with the chickpea flour, it stays with me for a very long time, and it doesn't give me that same spike. Because it makes sense, because all those simple sugars, those simple carbohydrates go directly into your bloodstream. It spikes the dopamine in your brain, and then it gets you wanting to eat more and more of them. And that's the main reason I'm not doing processed foods. Okay, so this is pretty good. I want to just stir it a little bit just because my chickpea flour got a little lumpy, and I don't want lumps in this. Now, it's interesting because you wouldn't think that flax meal would act like an egg, but it really does, and it gives it a good rise, and it's amazing. And that I did long before I ate plant-based. When my daughter was little, and I mentioned she's got severe food allergies, and she had multiple food allergies when she was very little, and one of the things that she was allergic to was eggs. So I had to come up with some good ways to some alternatives to eggs, and flax meal was one of them. And because it also is a great source of omega-3s, those essential fatty acids, it does double the trick. So, all right, there is my batter. And here is the half a cup of chopped walnuts. And that's good to go. So see how easy that came together? Now it's a little liquidy at the moment, so I probably could have done with a little less almond milk, but it'll still set up right. It'll be good. I've done this enough to know that even when I think I've messed it up, it generally doesn't mess up, so that's a good thing. All right, so let me move all this stuff over there, and let me get this ready. And for myself, I have found often that the best way, because I make a huge mess sometimes when I'm trying to get the batter into the pan, is to put this in a measuring cup, and then I can pour it. All right, as long as I can get it in the measuring cup without making a huge mess anyway. Okay, here we go. And you're going to fill these up about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way. Doesn't really matter too much. You don't want to overfill them because then they'll spill up out and over the pan. Like, I think that one might have been a little too full. And this makes pretty much about 12 muffins. All right, let me get some more batter here. I hope you guys are all having a good Sunday. I was very tired this afternoon, so we were watching some of the Olympics, and I fell asleep. So I took a nap through the swimming. But Sundays are always busy for us. My husband's a pastor, so we were at church. We had a potluck after church. I taught a children's church lesson, so it was quite the busy Sunday morning. All right, so here we go. A bit more there. All right, there we have it. I have 12 muffins. I am going to pop this in the oven, and these are going to bake for 20 minutes, 20 to 22 minutes. You just got to keep an eye on them. And I will meet you back here when they come out of the oven. Hi friends, we have 4 minutes on my timer for the muffins. They're smelling really good, but I did want to mention one thing to you. I have this bag of chickpeas, which cost me, it's 16 ounces. It cost me about $2.29 in the store. And this bag will make about 8 to 10 cups of beans when they're fully cooked, as opposed to this can of chickpeas, which is 15.5 ounces. It has 3.5 half-cup servings and a lot of water. And so, you know, for cost-wise, it's much cheaper to buy the bags of beans. And I did have a friend to ask me recently, why do I go through the trouble of canning beans when it's so much easier just to purchase them in a can, ready-made? And there's a couple of reasons I do that. Number one is I can control the ingredients that are going into my jars when I can them myself or when I cook dried beans myself. This can of beans has chickpeas, water, salt, and then this thing that I didn't even realize because I didn't pay attention, disodium EDTA, which is to promote color retention. Totally unnecessary. Chickpeas retain their color no matter what, I think, personally. So it was not a necessary ingredient. And to be honest, I don't even know what that is. Second reason is it's cheaper. This can was $1.39 at Walmart as opposed to $2.29 for probably 2.5 times the amount of beans that I'm getting in here. The other reason is I have mason jars because I can lots of different things. And so my jars will last for years and years and years. I do check them periodically to make sure that they're okay. I change out the lids every time I can something. I get new lids. So that's the only thing I have to purchase for that. But the jars and the rings will last me for years and years and years. So I don't need that. The other thing is that they will, like, I know the freshness of them. I know when I canned them and how long it's been since I've had them. I can keep track. And so that's a big thing for me. And then the other issue is that I just like canning. I grew up with a mom and two grandmothers that when we go to visit, they were often canning things in the summertime. It's just something I enjoy doing. I love being able to be in my kitchen and trying different things. The only thing is with beans is that you absolutely have to pressure can them. You cannot water bath beans. If you're going to cook them and store them in your refrigerator or freezer, that's fine. But if you want long-term shelf storage, you have to pressure cook, not water bath. And I think someday I might actually go through and do a video on how I actually do that with the beans. So I just wanted to mention those things to you. And also, the other reason too is that it keeps the cans out of the landfill. It bothers me when I see them, when I see myself tossing these, even though they're going in recycling, it's still going into garbage, and it just reduces the amount of garbage and waste. So I did want to mention that. Now I'm going to go pull my muffins out of the oven and see what those look like. There you can see it. They look great. Okay, here you have it. These are my banana nut muffins. I broke one in half. As you can see, it's nice. It tastes very good. I probably, again, when you're making anything with bananas, with ripened bananas, the longer you let the banana get ripe, the sweeter it becomes. So mine weren't super sweet, so I probably would have upped the cup of, the third of a cup of maple syrup to a half a cup. But again, these are great. They're sweet enough, so I'm all set to go hiking tomorrow. For my breakfast, I'll probably eat 2 of these along with a piece of fruit, and then I'll be good to go till lunchtime. And we'll just pack some things to eat for lunch on the way. I'm not sure what we're gonna bring yet, so. But anyway, I just wanted to share this recipe with you. I hope you're having a great day. If you like this video, hit the like button. You can subscribe to my channel, share it with others, and I will have more recipes for you in the coming videos of how to cook things, plant-based, whole foods, but in a way that doesn't break the bank. I will put the link below in the description box for my website where you can find this recipe as well as others. And I will see you in the next video.